Hello and good afternoon. My name is Pascalia, and you're listening to My Polska with Pascalia. I took a little hiatus. I've been away on like a health break, but I'm so glad to be back. I don't know how many of you are glad to hear me back on air, but yeah, this is just a wonderful day. It's a bright day, but rather cold. But we're sad as Kenyans, but we'll come to that later, much later on. I'm just happy to just enjoy being back on radio and just talking to you all. And I hope you're happy to listen to me because it's a wonderful day. Today I also have a wonderful guest with us on studio, and I'll be happy to introduce her. If you were listening, like from the beginning, you've probably heard her voice before. And, she's joining us for a second time with more insights. And yeah, I will let her maybe tell us her name. And yeah, and then we'll get into the radio show. But our guest for the day, please tell us your name so that the people listening to us can know who it is. Ooh.
Good afternoon, my good people. My name is Davin Mora Ondeki. Thank you, Pascalia, for having me back again. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to join this show again. I'm glad to, be with you, talk for this 1 hour. Thank you for having me back again. And thank you, people, for connecting and also for tuning in and listening to us. Thank you.
All right, excellent. So that's Davin, as you've heard. She's joining us today for a second time. And, one time is not enough to just talk and discuss.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's never, me and you know how much we talk. So talking for 1 hour, it's not enough. We need like more and more and more time to talk. Yeah.
For sure. So we are happy that you all are engaging with us today and joining us and just, being a part of all this wonderful show. So, Davin, what is the mood like? Because, it's global news. It's the world news. Like literally it's hit all major international stations. Yeah. And people know that Kenya have lost a king of the nation, for lack of a better word. Mm-hmm. And, for us who are abroad, we mourn. We are part of, the whole country or movement or the people who really felt touched by the life of our former prime minister. Just a word, how you feel or what you have to say about this.
So first of all, I can comment about the weather today. It's so cold and it's contributing to the somber mood, of course. But today has been very cold and very rainy. But that notwithstanding, we are still here to engage with you, our listeners. However, as you said earlier, like three days ago or 2 days ago, we did lose an icon. We did lose the son of soil. We did lose a mentor to many. We did lose a father. We lost an important piece in Kenya. We lost an important person who not only brought Kenyans together, but he's the father of many things. Like, he did lead, he did serve, he did a lot of things under his name. And I'm not talking about any other person. I'm not talking about just someone you randomly meet in the streets. I'm talking about His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. That is a household name. Trust me, no one doesn't know Raila Amolo Odinga. Everyone, even a child born yesterday, even a child born today, definitely knows Raila Amolo Odinga because it's a name that was used in our households. It was a name our parents will talk about. It is someone who was well known, not only nationally, but regionally and also internationally. So this is someone we have greatly lost as a nation. And although it had reached a point in his, political life where we also felt like he needed to take a break, like age-wise, for some of us, of course, not for everybody. However, his insights, his contributions will not go unnoticed. This is someone who really made a difference in the political scene, and especially in our country. Yeah.
All right, that's excellent. You have really praised him and given this whole concept like so much life. For people who don't know who we are talking about the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who was the former Prime Minister of the country of Kenya, and he died 3 days ago. So he is considered an icon of the nation, just a pillar of strength for the entire country, father of democracy, and many other things.
For sure.
Obviously, there are controversies also because, there are people who really loved him and people who felt otherwise.
Of course. In a democratic space, of course, we will have those who support and those who oppose. That is democracy. We cannot all lean into one direction. So it's allowed. There are people who had their opinions about Raila and his conduct. There are those of us who are his die-hard followers up until his demise. Like, we feel like there's this gap that has been left. There's this shoe that has been left that literally no one is going to fill. But we also appreciate those who had contrary opinions about Raila Amolo Odinga, which is okay in a democracy. I myself wasn't 100% like supporting his moves, although most of the time we were being told, it's for the better of the nation and all that, which we're gonna get to as time goes by. I myself didn't agree with most of the things he did, but as I said, it's democracy. We have to welcome opposing and supporting opinions. Yeah.
I think we've started the show on such a high note. Like, we've already given people a lot of insights and a lot of things. But in the meantime, we're just going to go off to a music break and play something for our listeners as we'll continue and tell you a bit about ourselves, about what's happening. We are happy to also hear from you. So if you're listening, you can also just chime in and let us know what you're thinking. But yeah, so for some music, and today we play something from South Africa. So Davin, while we do that, can you tell me a little bit about what Raila Odinga, or commonly known as Baba, because he was the Baba of the nation, what he meant to you, or what your feelings are towards Baba? What would you say?
So what I can basically say about Baba is he is someone that I admired his political move. I may say that most of my how can I put it, like, interest in politics was really associated with Raila, or rather it was contributed by Raila himself. So he's one of those people who made me have a keen interest when it came to politics, especially getting to know where we came from as a country, pre-independence, post-independence, up until the moments that you're facing right now. So he's someone that I really took keen interest and followed his political journey along. So yeah, I have so much that I learned from him as a person and as a politician.
All right, that's excellent. So we're going to go into some music for now.
Size Seize it, seize it. Only seize it, seize it. Then seize it, seize it.
All right, and we're back. And thank you so much for tuning in. You're listening to IMI Radio, and this is Pascalia. You're listening to my Polska with Pascalia. So we were in interesting times, or we are in interesting times, right? And you know, the platform that we have here on IMI Radio, we like to talk about different things and just global issues that are happening. And outside of Kenya, which is our country where we come from, the hot news right now is the death of our former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
The president announced 7 days of mourning.
Mm-hmm.
And he has had a state funeral.
Yeah.
No other leader other than former presidents
Yeah.
have had a state funeral.
Mm-hmm.
So, Davin, just tell us a little bit about what you thought, like the life of Raila Odinga from a civilian's point of view, or rather, someone who was following his political career.
So it is worth to note that Raila had a very, very, very massive following. Like, that person could command from his bedroom and people would just stand up. Like, that's how big of a deal he was. And even I can say the governments where he existed in, all the governments were afraid of him, because no one in all these things, we remember, like in 2013, or was it 2014, when he saw himself as president. When was it? Was it 2018? Like, after one of those popular elections, when he saw himself as the president of the people.
2017, I think.
2017, yeah. So he saw himself as the people's president, and that amounted to treason. But tell me, who would have arrested him? In fact, in which court would he have appeared so that they can charge him or even try him? So he was kind of a big deal. People respected him in his own capacity. We don't say that he was over the law or above the law, but people respected Baba. People accorded him the respect that he deserved during his time. And most of it was because of championing for human rights. He was championing for human freedom. He was championing for good governance. He was championing for all this, everything good that should be happening in a country. That is what he was championing for. And I think even this point where he's being accorded state funeral, which he deserves, by the way. Anyway, he's a former prime minister, so he deserves it. It's not because it's being handed to him, or he deserves the state funeral, and because out of respect. And this is someone also who dedicated his life in serving Kenyans in various capacities, be it minister, be it member of parliament. So he deserves it. Yeah.
All right. So we'll just veer off a little bit from talking about Raila, because we'll get back to that.
Okay.
But tell us about just also being here in Poland and rather the political space of how you understand or what you see about the politics of Poland or Europe at large. Are you engaging in any politics while you're here?
Yeah, so not really. I haven't gotten an opportunity to interact with any politician here in Poland because, first of all, I was lucky to come here during the presidential elections. And I think politics in Europe is being conducted differently from what we see back in Africa, or rather back in Kenya. It's very different in the sense that in our countries, when we're nearing elections and all that, there's usually some massive campaigns. You see crowds, you see all these people, vehicles and all that. Like, it's a big deal in Kenya. Whereas here, during the presidential election, you couldn't even know that the president or the aspirants are even campaigning, but you'll just see photos of them, I don't know, interacting with locals and all that. And you won't even know it's a campaign. Like, it's just normal. It's their... And then the elections are also very different. They'll just wake up, go to the polling station, vote, and that's it. And go back home and wait for the results. Whereas in Kenya, we have to queue, we have to get the votes, we have to announce them. Like, it's a big deal. Elections in Kenya or Africa, it's a big deal, and it's very different from here. And I think also because we have very the arms of government are also different in both spaces, in Europe and in Africa. I am very much keen to follow about Poland politics. So it's something that I'm trying to engage in. So I can't say for sure right now I really have any insights as to what really happens. I've just seen a bit of difference when it comes to elections and conduct of campaigns and all that. That's the difference that I've noted. And I think also here the other difference is in Kenya, when you talk about Raila as the prime minister, you will imagine he's the one who was making decisions in Kenya, or rather signing documents, or rather sitting on the tables with the cabinet secretaries and all that. Like, he was a big deal. No, it's different because in Kenya, it's the president who is the chief commander, is the commander in chief, and he's the head of executive. So he's the one who chairs all these cabinet meetings and all these serious meetings. And unlike here in Poland, the president is ceremonial, and the prime minister, all the honors lie under the prime minister. So there's a bit of difference there. Yeah.
All right, that's really excellent. We also just see the difference in the political space or the political arena here in Poland, or rather in Europe. And also it's the reverse, that here the prime minister has most of the power and the president's role is more ceremonial.
Yeah.
But we're going to go into a commercial break, but I am playing something really special because this has been requested all the way from DRC, all the way from Goma. So we have people listening to us all the way from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yay.
And we will just listen to this song called Likolo.
Et le bienfaiteur.
Ah, c'est bon, vous êtes prêts? On part là? Ok.
vie n'est plus comme avant. Ma vie n'est plus comme avant. Enfant des dieux certifiés bon. Normal qu'on soit toujours en avant. L'écolo, oh. J'ai miné par sa grâce. Moi des ma solo. Focus au boulot. Les travaux de Dieu fait du bruit à ma place. La route est sémée d'ambition. On garde le vent en triste. Sourire aux lèvres. On marche avec assurance malgré les épreuves qui s'ambichent. Toute arme est forgée contre nous. C'est annihilé sans effet. Les jaloux, les haineux vont sur notre chemin.
Ils étaient nombreux à vouloir qu'ils l'on perde. Mais l'homme qu'on a est sous tout ça caca l'écolo. Ils étaient nombreux à vouloir qu'ils l'on perde. Mais l'homme qu'on a est sous tout ça caca l'écolo.
Tomata, l'écolo, 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 na yesu l'écolo, 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 na yesu. De l'éternel enrichi et né s'est fait s'ouvrir dans quel chagrin. C'est né, maman rêvait que mes rêves, mais c'est papa comme ce qu'il est fait chaque matin. La vie est une lettre, on verbe être. On réussira sans se compromettre. Même si ça tarde, on va pas se permettre d'abandonner le maître. C'est né par moi, c'est Dieu qui paie. Tout ce que j'ai, c'est grâce à lui. Les travails, c'est l'œuvre de Dieu. Les succès accordés par Dieu. Le mariage béni par Dieu. Même les enfants, un don de Dieu. C'est Dieu.
Ils étaient nombreux à vouloir qu'ils l'on perde. Mais l'homme qu'on a est sous tout ça caca l'écolo. Ils étaient nombreux à vouloir qu'ils l'on perde. Mais l'homme qu'on a est sous tout ça caca l'écolo.
Tomata, l'écolo, 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 na yesu l'écolo, 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 na yesu.
Nombreux à vouloir qu'ils l'on perde. Que je perde. Mais l'homme qu'on a est sous tout ça caca.
And we're back. What a wonderful song we've just listened to called Likolo, all the way from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Like, wow, it's so amazing when we know that we have international listeners all the way from the DRC. And the artist is called All Benfetre. I really hope I did not butcher that, but that is just so amazing. All Benfetre, thank you so much for Likolo, and it's a wonderful tune. We're just coming back to where we are, like in Europe, and today we are really like, you know, in the mood of what is happening. We're really into a bit of a political space and just analyzing or looking at the different aspects of politics in Poland and in Europe in general as compared to politics in Kenya as we know it, because during elections there's just a lot of hype around everything, that the country literally comes to a standstill when we have elections. People close shops, people don't go anywhere. You literally just go to the polling station to vote and you go home and you wait for announcements of the results. It also takes a number of days for elections, like the ballots or the votes to be brought together and counted and all that. So give or take, it's like a week of literally just being at home and being in this election mood, that people are glued to their TV screens, just watching or taking part of what is happening. So we'll take it back a little bit to the 2007 general elections in Kenya. And before we get into that, we can just look at other different aspects. Maybe our guest Davin can tell us what she thinks about the different aspects of like elections in Europe. Before you say something, just touch on a little bit about the 2007 general election. How was it? Where were you at that time, if you can remember? I mean, it's a long time ago, but it was such an important moment in our politics. So for sure, everybody remembers where they were in 2007.
For sure. I do remember I was still in school. Was still in primary school. I wasn't like young that I can't remember what really happened, because what happened on our doorstep. So I remember very well that time elections used to be held in December. And of course, after December, after the festivities, it was January, back to school. So after elections, all this had happened, and we are expected to go back in January to school. All hell broke because now after announcement, and it was announced that Kibaki was the winner, and Raila contested, of course, like these elections have been rigged and all that, and that's when violence erupted across the country.
I will just take you a little bit back, because for people who are listening to us, like international listeners, not Kenyans, they're wondering, like, what are we talking about? What actually happened? Because we've gone right into the story, but we've not given them a little bit of insight of what happened. So in 2007, we had the general elections. It was so obvious that Raila was going to take it, and this is now where the peak of Baba's career really got there in terms of politics, right? And even it's good to know that after that, he has been contesting in all general elections after 2007. And, he's the president we should have had, but never had. So please just tell us a little bit of background about 2007, and then you can get on to the story.
Okay, so so in 2007, as you said, it was the general election, and there were several contestants contesting for the presidential election. And out of those several, we did have, of course, the main two, which was the late President Mwai Kibaki, and then now the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga. So, as you said, this was a heavily and hotly contested election. So everyone knew across the country that Raila was going to win because it was his, like, the numbers were there, everything was there, he was going to win, and in my opinion, he actually won the elections.
Okay, so just to get you on to what you're saying there, because, the other day while I was listening to Linus Kaikai, he was saying that this is something that Kenyans like to really be polite about, because everybody knew that Raila actually won the presidential elections, right?
He did.
And there was this whole fiasco where electricity was cut out and whatnot. And then the late Mwai Kibaki, may his soul rest in peace, was announced as the president. Tell us what happened there, and from your perspective, obviously, because we are not a part of the political kind of parties or the political leaders. Mm-hmm. So from our perspective as citizens and as laymen, and at that time, it's good to note that both of us were still very young, but we were in this process because it was something that really brought the country together, I would say.
Yeah. So, like, after that 2007 elections, what we came to find out, like, later, even this, before then, it wasn't IBC, it was the Electoral Commission of Kenya, so it was ECK, and the chairman, who was, can't remember his name really, but the chairman of ECK then was later, like, interviewed some years later, and he actually gave an account of what really happened and how we came to find ourselves in that kind of situation. So to even give you a proper understanding that these elections were so controversial, this particular candidate who was determined the winner got sworn in a very unprecedented way, because someone just woke up at 6 a.m. and decided we need to swear in this president before anything else happens. And they knew, because then the judicial system wasn't as efficient as it is right now, they knew, like, if they don't do these things in a hurry, and once someone goes to court and contests these results and everything, then we weren't going to have a country at all. So they were like, let's first swear you in, then in the event anything happens after that, we can now be able to address it as you, the head of state, So, so these elections were like one of a kind and something that we hadn't seen in Kenya before. Yeah.
All right. So, the general elections, or rather Kenyans, politics for us is a really big part of our lives. Here, I don't see people passionately speaking or expressing themselves about politics as it is back home, which is so different. Because in Kenya, we've taken politics to a whole other level because people use even social media for civic awareness and for just sharing their views. I mean, there's a good and bad part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But 2007 elections was really key because it also put the country in an unstable space or an unstable position because we went into the violence after the election results were announced. And it was only through international intervention that was able to cool down, and the two opposing sides, or the two kingpins rather at the time, Raila Odinga and Mwai Kibaki, were able to work together through the power sharing pact, right? And we then had him as the prime minister and Mwai Kibaki as the president. So Kenya has only had two prime ministers, and this is the time that we had a prime minister, and after that it hasn't happened again after that it hasn't repeated itself again that we've had a prime minister. So it's really key also because he was a key figure. So you just tell us how 2007 really influenced everything, or the politics, and you still haven't told us what your experience was because you were somewhere at the time in school, but how was it for you?
Yeah, just an important thing to note before I can get deep into maybe about the 2007 elections is the difference between, I think, our political space and political space abroad. We as Africans, or rather we as Kenyans, have monetized political seats. Like nowadays, it's just a monetary political movement. Like people get into politics to get rich. People don't get into politics to serve. And if anything, I think maybe the latest statistics, or one of the statistics that has been conducted, is Kenya has the highest paid members of any elected political seat, be it the member of parliament, be it the president. Those people are rich. They're making money out of it. So I think maybe part of the reasons why most of our leaders get into even this politics is not even about to serve the people, because tell me why we have these leaders in office, we do have these people, and they all fight for the same thing, like they all fight to be there, yet when they are voted in, there's nothing that they literally do to these citizens. So for them, it's for their selfish interests and greed. That is what is putting them there. And unlike these other, maybe the European countries or Western countries, them is to serve these people. Because if you do not serve your people, you are held accountable for your actions. And we do not have that kind of accountability in back in Kenya. So maybe that could be one of the reasons. However, this post-election violence was so bad. For me, as I said, I was still young and I was still in school. It disrupted our education. We had to stay home for a couple of months just to have the violence subside. People were displaced literally from their homes. People were burnt alive in churches. People were killed, slaughtered, murdered, like with these, knives and what we call pangas. Yeah, these lethal
machetes,
these lethal instruments, or people were butchered literally. And I remember there's a time when we were moving from town where the center is to home, we had to be stopped in some place where we call Kangemi, and now the rowdy residents there used to tell you, are you for Raila or are you for Kibaki? Then if you choose wrong side, they come and like threaten you with all that. Or if you're for Baba, they make you dance or show your identity card to, it was that bad. We were so divided along ethnic and tribal lines, and we couldn't see each other eye to eye. Like one tribe and the other couldn't see each other eye to eye. And I think actually that was the basis of violence in that elections. It was division across tribal lines. And maybe that is also a contribution of why we've never had free and fair elections, because when it comes when it comes to elections or any time during elections, people now remember they are from a particular tribe, and my friend was from a particular tribe, so we can no longer coexist, we can no longer think alike. So that is one of the reasons why our electoral or political space is infiltrated with ethnic and tribal politics, which is not good, which is not healthy. Yeah.
All right, interesting perspective also, but it's also good to hear the harrowing experience. We are also sharing this so that we also remind ourselves that we don't want to go back there ever again. You know, it's not a part of our story anymore, but it's still a part of our history. So that's why we're talking about it. Anyway, we are going to listen to a song that is really very timely in this space that we're in, because it's called Joey. Welcome back. You're listening to IMI Radio, and I'm your host, Pascalia. You're listening to my Polska by Pascalia, and today we've really gone political, but because we are Kenyans, and you know, we lost an icon, and at the same time, politics is a big part of our lives back home. Like, we eat, breathe, sleep politics, and you know, I know it's not the case in Europe, but those are some of the differences that we have between like Kenya and Poland, for example. And while we are here, when the elections are going on, we're like wondering what's happening, because unless you actually watch on TV or see some posters in the streets, because they also put out posters, there are no political rallies. I don't know. I think they're happening, but in closed spaces, because we don't see the road shows and the road signs, and you know, that's the essence of the political or the election period back in Kenya. It's like there will be road shows, there'll be music. It's so pompous and so big, and also people spend a lot of money on campaigns. So just the difference is that here the campaigns are really, I'm sure people spend money here on campaigns as well, but it's more like low key. People just go on with their daily lives, and you don't really see that spilling out into the daily occurrences of people being here. But yeah, maybe some more interesting concepts for you as a Kenyan living here in Poland. What would you say are things that really stand out, whether it is in everyday life or in politics and in social life as well?
So what really stands out here in Poland is I think there's so much individualistic here. I don't know how to properly put that, but people know how to mind their business so much. People, I don't know if they ever they are brought together by such events like us. People used to just know Raila Odinga, whether you liked him or not, but such an event has brought all the Kenyans together. So I don't know if they usually have such instances or circumstances where they're brought together as a people. I've just, I feel like people are a bit cold or just mind their own businesses and run their own things. So that is something that stands out for me. Also, in such social events, you can't find like people just outside, disorganized doing their own things outside there. Everything here is organized, from their parties to their events, all that. It's organized and in a proper manner. And sometimes you might find an event inside a building and you wouldn't know there's an event there. Like, in Kenya we have things like wedding, in gardens where people are just, everything is decorated. You can hear voice, sounds and all that. Here you won't even know what's going on unless it's something like is publicized. Yeah, so there's so many things I can talk about, the difference and what stands out. There's so many things socially, emotionally, individually. There's so many things that stand out here. Yeah, and of course you will notice or you'll know that you are in a different place other than your country. Yeah.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for being a part of the show and for sharing your insights. Today we have just been talking about the politics and also honoring the life of our departed Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga. So thank you so much for joining us. And as we are coming to a close of the show, we are going to play a really important song because it was Baba's favorite song. So let's have a listen and then we will say our goodbyes. Thank you so much for listening to IMI Radio today.
Sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down at the market you can hear ladies cry out while on their head they bear ackee rice, salt fish are nice and the rum is fine any time of year. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. Had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. Had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Sounds of laughter everywhere, and the dancing girls swaying to and fro. I must declare my heart is there, though I've been from Maine to Mexico. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. Had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. Had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down the way.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. You're listening to IMI Radio, and I'm your host, Pascalia. And we're coming to a close of the show, but we'd like to have our guest Davine say something to close as we depart.
So, maybe what I can say is, as people, let's maybe sit down and reflect on the things that we do and think about, our life when you're still alive. Like, what impact are you going to leave when you go? Because if there's something that I've learned in these recent days is death is inevitable and it can visit you anytime. So be prepared, leave an impact in people's lives. Like this person that we're celebrating today left an impact on so many lives. Just, be in the good books of people, not necessarily, but try. And just live your life and know that at one point we will have this chance to, talk about you in the positive way as much as we can. But I'm glad that I was able to get to know this great person. He's left a mark in our lives. I just pray that wherever he is now resting in peace, and whatever he started, let us as young people continue it. Let us continue fighting for good governance. Let us continue fighting for spaces in society. Let us continue fighting for what we believe in, because that is what he also believed in. I hope that his family is going to take comfort during these trying times, and the nation is at large. Like, let's continue praying for everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for inviting me back again here. I would like to come more and more, so you're always welcome to invite me.
That's amazing. We're happy to have you as well. And you have said really so much, and I wouldn't want to add much more, but we are praying for the family of Odinga. We are praying for the nation, and we should indeed continue in the good work and in the good spirit that Raila kept on, and may his spirit live long. So you enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much for joining us on IMI Radio today. Hello, and it's a wonderful day in Warszawie, and you are listening to My Polska with Pascalia, and I'm your host,
To była
Pascalia.
powtórka w IMI Radio.